Hello, Puneet. Uh, Thanks for taking out some time for me for this interview. Although this was a part of my OB project, but thanks that you have spared out certain time from your busy schedule.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Puneet, there are certain questions which I would like to ask you. I mean, being a manager in SAP Labs from such a long time, as a manager, what do you think is the most important thing you see in your employee based on his personality traits?
See, basically, as a manager, what I look for my employees is that they should have a sense of responsibility in that.
Okay.
They should be able to take ownership. Right? It's fine that if you are not able to do something or you are learning something, somebody learns faster, somebody learns slower, that is fine with me. But once you do something, you should take responsibility for that. You should have ownership of it. By ownership, I mean to say complete ownership. So it's not that I have to go to you for everything and ask you about the statuses and everything. I don't believe in that.
Okay.
So
how would you rate technical expertise of an individual? Is it according to you rated more as compared to the ownership part, or is it at the same level or below that?
I would say it would be a bit below that, because technicalities and knowledge is something which is found in abundance. What is not found is sense of responsibility and ownership.
Okay.
That should be there. Technicalities can be learned, all other traits can be learned, but this is something which should be inherent.
So do you think certain team building things or certain activities which can be carried within a team can increase this sense of responsibility and ownership kind of traits?
Of course. You mean to say the extracurricular activities that we have?
Anything, I mean, can you think of anything which you would have implemented in your team which has actually increased the sense of responsibility within the team members?
See, to first of all check the sense of responsibility that an employee has, or to try to evaluate that, you have to give them some responsibility.
Right.
That responsibility can be given them while our normal work as well, and by some kind of outbound activities that we have. We can have some kind of plays, any kind of games where you can check the sense of responsibility that a person shows. So it's not something that can only be judged via work.
Right. Okay. My next question would be, are you sometimes biased while taking certain decisions for your team members inside the team?
Biased, yes, you can say, because see, most of the things in this world or in the corporate environment are not black and white.
Right.
They have different shades of grey. So when I'm making a decision about my employee, so it's not that I will just go by the numbers and just, okay, if this falls in this category, okay, this is up to 7, this is up to 8. You cannot judge a person just by normal book work.
Right.
You have to have, about that person more than what his work shows, his or her work shows.
Right.
So you have to take those factors into consideration while evaluating a person. So it's not, by biasing, I do not mean that you have to take a decision which he is not capable of or something, to provide him something. But it's that you have to bring in those factors in you.
Right.
You have to check out those things and then make a sensible decision.
So basically the past experiences which you have with an employee also affects your current decision which you would make in the future, right? Or that particular decision.
I see, it should be, but only a part of it. It's not that you should carry a prejudice against a person that, okay, last time he did this and I believe that he cannot or can do this always.
Right.
It should not be the case. You have to mostly judge him by his current work and knowing a few other things to assess that.
Okay. My next question would be, how does a good leadership basically influence a team motivation?
A good leadership is very much important for a team motivation, because if the leaders just talk, it doesn't make sense. You have to walk the talk. Whatever you tell your team, you want your team to have a sense of responsibility, ownership, XYZ. So you have to have that in yourself and you have to demonstrate that to your team. Right. So team of course observes you. They see you as your leader, they see you as your model. So you have to be the way they want you to be. You have to portray yourself. Before telling them to do something, you have to show them that you also have those traits.
But being at this level, I mean, how easy or how difficult is it for you to basically show those kind of things which basically...
It is of course sometimes difficult, because you have that right, at least as a manager you have to have that sense of responsibility when it comes to managing your team. Your team can be as good as you are.
Right.
You are the limit, you can say that.
Correct.
So you have to be at top always. You have to demonstrate all those skills. It's not necessarily the technical skills that you have to demonstrate, but people management skills, the team motivation skills you have to show. All those skills you have to keep at the best possible level so that the team believes in you.
Okay, my last question would be, how do you manage your teams for effective outputs and results?
See, the best way of managing your team is to give them the full rights, responsibilities. And when you give them a responsibility, believe over them. Believe blindly over them.
But there is certain limit to belief, right? I mean, you cannot just give a task to your employee and then expect him to come back after 2 or 3 months if that task requires certain weeks, right?
I would say it's fine. You can believe over employees because now you're working as a team. And if you just keep pondering over an employee for certain things time and time again, I don't think that would be productive. So you have to let it be a bad case 1 or 2 times, let it be. As a trend, just believe on your employees. Give them a sense of responsibility, let them develop that. Maybe if there are some employees which are new to the organization, they need to learn a few things, or they are just out of the college, they need to learn a few things. Then you might guide them at times or just check with them if everything is going fine.
So should there be a kind of a certain process which should be laid out while a better productivity can be taken out from a team, according to you?
See, as a process, we already have that mentor-mentee kind of a stuff in which we assign a senior colleague to a junior colleague so that he can be assisted at different parts of the career. So that is one thing. It's not that we have given our responsibility to the mentor to do that. But one thing is that as a mentor, as a first level, he just checks for the basic things if the employee is missing at.
That is at the first level, basically for the people who are fresh out of the college.
Right.
But what about the people who are already having experiences? So what exactly the measures you follow, or what measures you take to ensure that they are at their best possible productivity?
See, there is one very important thing which every manager needs to do. You need to know the strengths and weaknesses of your employee. You should know them first before making good use of them, before strengthening the strengths they already have and weakening the weaknesses they have. So you have to know them every time of every of your employee. So if you know your strengths, then you can ask, if possible. It's not always possible to give them the area of their choice or their priority, but if possible, you can at least try to map it to the nearest possible structure.
Okay, Puneet, thanks a lot for taking the time. It was nice talking to you.
Thanks, Pravesh. Thank you.